In the news this week, the nation parties on the first Australia Day of the decade as the date-changing debate drags on.
Advocates claim help for Indigenous youth issues still take centre stage, despite WA plans for more Aboriginal teachers.
Dangerous game, police on the lookout for those who choose to point lasers toward aircrafts.
And the design of the new Australind Train revealed, but will it bring passengers back to rail?
This is the Evening News with Ivan Leung and Danielle Staniskov.
Good evening. Australians around the nation celebrated the country's first Australia Day of the decade with citizenship ceremonies, barbecues and fireworks. Although many celebrated with pride, calls to change our national day from the 26th of January remain strong among Indigenous Australians. Sarah Smith reports on today's celebrations and protests.
A sea of blue flags filled the air at citizenship ceremonies across the country today. In Wanneroo, 1,000 newly minted Australians sweltered in the heat and listened as Premier Mark McGowan spoke about the spirit of Australia.
Courage, compassion, generosity and selflessness. To me that is what defines being an Australian.
For the new citizens, today marks a new beginning in many of their lives. Some have been waiting for years for this moment. For them, Australia Day is a celebration of multiculturalism and democracy.
This day is just about celebration, about being a proud Australian, and yeah, that's what it means to me.
For some Indigenous people, however, the 26th of January is Invasion Day, a day of mourning and remembrance. Green Senator Rachel Seward spoke in support of those who cannot celebrate on the 26th.
We should be celebrating this nation on a day that does not cause sorrow, dispossession, injustice to First Nations peoples.
Wanneroo City Mayor Tracy Roberts said that her council will continue to hold the ceremony on the 26th.
We've got our Reconciliation Action Plan working group at the City of Wanneroo, and we've got our Aboriginal community on that working group. So we're on a journey together, and they've certainly not highlighted any great concerns about the date.
Sarah Smith, WAMN News.
Indigenous advocates have called a state government initiative to boost Aboriginal teacher numbers a drop in the ocean, despite hopes it will help Aboriginal children stay in school. There are concerns it's not enough as damaging issues continue to face Indigenous kids. Nelson Liu reports.
Breathing life back into Indigenous youth education, but Aboriginal advocates warn.
This is only a drop in the ocean.
WA is boosting Aboriginal teacher numbers to help connect with Indigenous students, but support groups claim it's not enough.
It alone will not address the arc of issues that we're dealing with right now.
They're supporting the increase to encourage Indigenous kids into the classroom, but concerns remain about rates of homelessness, suicide and incarceration affecting Indigenous youth. They believe the issues need to be addressed together.
There's a lot of people that don't go to school, sadly, because of an arc of issues that they're facing.
Currently, only 1 teacher in 100 in WA is Indigenous, with at least 3 in 100 needed. The state government introduced the pilot program this week, enabling Indigenous Department of Education staff to study to become teachers.
It's about providing role models and also ensuring that culturally education is relevant to those students.
With attendance and dropout rates prominent among Indigenous school kids, it's hoped the program will connect them with learning once again.
What good things, opportunities that they have for the future.
But advocates believe there's a long way to go.
It will not fix the problem immediately.
Nelson Liu, WAMN News.
WA police have charged 2 Brazilian nationals following investigations into a Brazilian-established criminal network, which involved in card skimming offences committed in Perth back in December 2019. Operations began after several card skimming devices are located on several ATMs across the Perth metro area, including 2 in Northbridge, 2 in Fremantle and 2 in Doubleview. Several lines of inquiry has been made in Brazil regarding other people of interest, and police are working to inquire the matters further.
If these people in other countries or even in other Australian jurisdictions think that they can offend in Western Australia with impunity from another country, they are sadly mistaken. We will do everything in our power and our capacity to track them down and bring them to justice.
Police are warning members of the public on the dangers of pointing laser lights towards any aircrafts after a 28-year-old man has been arrested for pointing them at a police helicopter in Huntingdale. At around 12:50 a.m. on the 24th of January 2020, a police helicopter was struck by a laser light during its flight. Authorities have seized the laser light after it was found hidden under a mattress at a property at Clune Court in Huntingdale. The man will be charged by summon, according to police.
Laser at any aircraft, the chance of being located is extremely high, and if we do locate you, we will charge you. And it is a criminal offence, and it has a penalty of up to 7 years imprisonment or a fine of up to $36,000.
The state government has unveiled the design of the new Australind Train fleet, with the appearance closely based on the Metronet C train design. Equipped with the latest technologies such as Wi-Fi, USB connection points, along with buffet, toilets and storage for 16 bikes, the new Australind will be built in a Bellevue workshop in Western Australia. It's expected that the first train will be delivered between 2022 and 2023, hoping to boost regional passenger numbers.
The train is past its use-by date. It's had extra maintenance to extend its life, but it's now 32 years old, and normally the train lives are about 30 years. So we're overdue for a replacement. We're really looking forward to this.
The mysterious Wuhan virus from China is spreading, with first few cases reaching cities such as Hong Kong and Macau. Meanwhile, Vietnam and Singapore has also reportedly received cases of infection after travellers from Wuhan arrived at the airport. China has locked down several major cities, while the World Health Organization has held off calling the disease as gravest epidemics.
I can confirm that DFAT have upgraded their travel advisory to level 4 for people looking to travel to Hubei province. Which into that, the government has announced that they will be screening all flights coming from China.
US President Donald Trump's impeachment began this week, with the Democrats accusing Mr. Trump for abusing his powers to obtain political advantage. Evidence was presented at the Senate trial for the first time during the second debate, with Mr. Trump's defence team to respond during this weekend.
Well, this year's Australia Day long weekend is a hot one, with temperatures reaching higher than 35 degrees. Here's Angus Moore from the Bureau of Meteorology WA with a forecast summary.
We've got a heat mass developing in the Gascoyne over the next few days, and by Tuesday it will have expanded across much of eastern and southern inland Western Australia until by Tuesday we should see large areas of inland WA well in excess of 40 degrees. So a pretty hot few days coming up. Luckily, over the course of the weekend, we'll probably see that most coastal locations are quite a few degrees less than the inland temperatures get to, mainly thanks to moderate to fresh sea breezes right around those coastal areas.
And that's our weekly news and current affairs for this week. We have the latest news on our website and social media page.
Please stay tuned as we'll live stream the fireworks next here at WAMN News. Enjoy a long weekend. Take care.
Good night.